Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's March the 9th, 2026. I'm Andrew Lacey, and welcome to today's Zoom call. I started writing a new book. It's called The Seven C's to See Your Life and Business Change. And I'm going to talk about one or two of those C's this morning. Now, from my memory, because I can't read, I'm going to tell you those words is commitment. You have to be committed. Consistent. Calculative. Courage. Compartmentalize. I've left out one or two.
Consistent. Did you say that one?
Let's start over. Commitment,
Confidence.
competence, consistent, calculative, compartmentalize, courage, and change. I wrote them down this weekend because I was thinking about each one of those words are so powerful in your life and your business. To be committed. You are the group that is the most committed in making your business better that I work with. And when you're committed, you become consistent at doing the right things. Calculative is what you're going to say to someone. And that's in the book, The Clock. Being calculative of what you say. And being calculative is not just in your business, it should also be in your personal life, to be calculative when you talk to your children or your spouse or to your family. The hardest thing for people to do is change. Change. It takes courage to change. Most people don't want to change. At the end of the call today, if we have time, I'm going to do a song called Seize the Day. And it says, courage cannot erase our fears. Courage is when we face our fears. So, also going to talk a little bit about compartmentalize. If there's a weak area, I believe with all people, is compartmentalizing to do one thing at a time. Now, I was taught that as a boy, and I was even taught it more in the Marine Corps, to do one thing, and until you finish that thing, do not stop. This morning at 7:30, I did a coaching call. Did I know I had a coaching call? Yes. But this morning at 5:30, I write down every morning what I have planned to do. Getting to the office, practicing my 7:30 coaching call. I practice it for about an hour, doing my 7:30 coaching call, getting a haircut at 8:15, coming back in and returning phone calls and emails that came over the weekend. Then around 9 o'clock, around 10 o'clock, that's at 9 o'clock, at 10, and it only takes me about an hour to get everyone that has called me. Now, am I going to do that before my 7:30 call? No, I'm not even going to look at who I need to call because it's going to distract me. 10 o'clock, I start practicing my Zoom call. There's so much practice that I do. After doing this for 30 years, let me go ahead and finish this. Then my Zoom call, then lunch, then coming back and calling people this afternoon that I may see in Palm Beach Gardens, encouraging them to come. What is that? Getting an appointment. If I don't call them, they're not going to come. I told you last week, 2 weeks ago, that when I called people personally in Atlanta, we ended up with 4 times more because I called them. We had sent them emails. We had sent them coaching calls. We had sent everything. But it's that phone call that makes all the difference in the world. So calling people, that's part of my day every day, to call someone. And then call people that came to the program last week, which is following up, to encourage them to not to quit, not to give up. I hope I encourage you every day to have the courage to get up and get better, to not give up, to not quit. So there's compartmentalizing, as I only do one of these things at a time. It's kind of like your daily schedule. You should only do what's set for your time for your daily schedule. You should not be trying to handle something else. When you start trying to handle a contract, you start trying to handle a problem in the middle of your prospecting, you're going to stop, you're going to lose focus. You're not going to have as much success. Now, the last word is the hardest word, is to change. Now, to me, that's probably the easiest word, is to change. I said this morning at 7:30, and I said in the program last week, how often does Andrew Lacey change? Every day. Let me say that again. I change every day. I change every day to get better. And the last 6 years, I've changed every day to give more. I have more time in every area of my clients, the time to talk to them personally, the time to go see them in a program, the time that at one time my coaching calls were 5 minutes. Now they're 30 minutes every morning at 7:30. And on Tuesday, it's 30 minutes of a coaching call and then role playing. On Mondays, it's 30 minutes of coaching and 30 minutes on a Zoom call. So where I spent 5 minutes, 25 minutes a week, in one day, I spend 30 minutes on one call. And then the time to take to help each person who calls me. I already had a brand new coaching person. Antonio called me this morning. He got an appointment. And he was talking to me about sending out, what do I send out before I get there? I said, well, if you have past customer letters, you want to send those out. And just write a little letter saying, I'm looking forward to seeing you, if it's a few days away when your appointment is. But I said, don't worry about it if you don't have it. I did not have past customer letters when I first started calling people. When I think about change, I said before that I didn't wake up in June of 91 with the scripts that I have today or the scripts that I give people the last 30 years. I had to change words to get people to respond differently. I had to change how I said those words. Now, let me say that again. This is where most people miss out. They don't emphasize the right words when they call someone. They don't emphasize the right words when on a presentation. And I try to demonstrate in role playing every Tuesday morning the power of the right word at the right moment, the power of the sentence at the right moment. Now, that's all being calculative. What happens, this is go one step farther. When I would leave a presentation, I would think, what could I have done better? And if I didn't get the listing, I would call the seller and say, can I ask you why you didn't choose me? And I would take that information, and if I could use it, that the next time I made the presentation, I would work that in there. So again, it's the same way with what I do today. Every time I do a half a day program or a 2 day program or a full day program or a coaching event, when I finish, I try to think, what could I have done better? And in today's world, I leave things out because I can't see my notes. I guess that's why I'm happy I do a coaching call every day, because what I didn't put in that coaching call this morning, I can put in tomorrow morning. But if I ask you this morning, I've had people that came back to the program, and if I said, what's the biggest change in the Lacey way? And what change did you make? And if I have time after that, I'd like to ask the people that went to class last week to help everybody on this call, what did you hear last week that made you go back and make a change? And let me say this, if you have a chance this morning to click on and say, what has happened since Thursday, I would love to hear that. I have people that got appointments that normally didn't get appointments on Friday. I had people that got listings over the weekend that wasn't getting listings. So they have taken something from the class and changed to make their business better. Why do you change? You want to change the things that's going to make your business better. The song that I'm going to use at the end, if I have time, is Seize the Day. Guys, there's an opportunity right now every day for you to make $10,000 to $20,000. Do you seize the day? Let me ask you this. By being compartmentalized, you seize the moment. It says minute by minute. That's how you win it. It's not just the time you spend prospecting. It's what you say on each individual call. That message that you leave. Pam Ford, I think last week, made 50 dials, had no contacts. We got 3 callbacks for appointments. What does that tell you? She knows how to leave a message. Most of my appointments came from callbacks because no one could leave a message better than me. Have you ever got a message from me? How many coaching people I work with says, I never erase your message. That's why they don't have any space left. I said, erase it, put it on something else. But you need to never always make sure your voicemail has room for somebody to leave you a message. If you can always answer the phone, I talk about simple things, answering the phone, sending out five handwritten notes to someone you know, or somebody you saw, or somebody you saw in public that you could do business with, somebody that you went and saw. As I said, this morning, last Friday, because I was working, got back into town, I had an employee out. I was working at calling people in Palm Beach because what I had asked my assistant to do while I was gone was to spend 3 days calling people. It didn't happen. That's the weak link. I have the best program. I'm going down there. But if I don't have people in the room, how can I help them? So I called them. Today, I will follow up the people that were in the class and ask them what changed. So while we're here on this call, can somebody click on and share a little bit about what you changed to have a better business, or what you decided to change last week in the class? Or if you've been in the program before, what's the biggest change you see in the Lacey way? And please click on. Austin will help you. And let's talk about change. What change have you made, or what change have you seen? Anybody? Good morning. Good morning. Andrew.
Andrew,
Yeah.
why, thanks, sir, for last week. I guess the biggest thing I've seen is you're a lot more patient with me and everybody else. And I appreciate it, because sometimes I don't get it the first time, just like I know I'm the only one. But anyway, I've just seen I need to, it's what I say to myself. It's if I catch myself saying something that's not good, I'll stop and say, if I say I can't, I'll stop and say I can.
Right.
And it's just, I try to make sure I get up every day, and no matter what happens, something, I saw a quote that said everything may not be good, but something good can come out of every day.
That's priceless. Anytime I have something bad happen, I try to see something good in it. I have worked on trying to do something, this new program I had, but it didn't work out as the way I wanted it to. But I took that new program and I'm going to be able to use it nationwide. And that, again, I specifically did it for like a group of people, but they didn't respond. But I said, you know what? I can use this for any individual to help them. So I'm always looking for something good that comes out of it. Now, last week I tried to have people come up and tell them what was stopping them, or tell them about themselves, the new people. I didn't get to you. But I look at you and I go back 10 years when you came and finally got involved completely in the program. You used to come to programs and then go back and come to a program and go back. But when you committed to letting me coach you, it had taken you 166 months to make $1 million. But then after you got committed and consistent, it took you 36 months. So you had 2 or 3 of the best years of your life, but then you kind of became complacent, which is complacent because you had made more money than you ever had.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you said to me at the beginning of the year, or on December the 3rd at the coaching event, was you was going to get back to doing what got you there. And that's all you got to do, is get back to doing the basics. But one of the things also I was going to tell you is to push harder, because you can call and you can talk to them, but if you just push a little bit harder, you can get that. I don't mean hard by being mean or being, let me come out. Why don't you let me come out? So, are you sure? I just come out. Come on, take a look at it. Well, on Friday, did you not get can you share that little, what happened to you? Because I did talk to you Friday afternoon, I believe.
Yes, sir. Got 65 calls, got an appointment from somebody that going to see tomorrow. He didn't want me to come out, and I just kept pushing him really easy. Going out tomorrow, it's expired, but I also got a listing for 250,000. No, I'm sorry, 225.
That's wonderful. So again, so many of you are nicer than I am. Not kinder, but nicer. and you kind of let them slide or let them off the hook. And I'm like a Sherry Puffer, my first agent that I ever trained that made $1 million in 1 year. When I met Sherry, she was making under 100,000. She was making 90. So many years later, she made 1,250,000 in Nashville, North Carolina, 2 years in a row. But Sherry Puffer said Andrew Lacey is a pit bulldog with a soft mouth. He never lets go. And so I'm that kind of person that sits at the house and say, are you going to let the person that wants to help you more than anyone here in Spartanburg get up and leave without getting your home sold? Well, let me help you tonight. And see, that's closing again, but it's a soft close. And so and I told you Friday, I said Sherry Puffer would not get the appointment, but she'd keep talking to him. She may ask him where you're from originally, or she may ask him a couple of questions. And that's why she was able to get hundreds of appointments a year, because she just, instead of just asking them the questions that get the appointments, see, some days you just ask them another question or two, like, well, when you're ready, I'd like to be here. But in the meantime, I'd just love to come out and take a look at it and have it in the back of my mind. So if the right person came along, I could call you up and ask you for a one-time showing. And somebody's sitting there going right now, I have to pay you for these scripts. Guys, I have 1,000 scripts. Don't be upset because I said this morning, don't be jealous of people. Let me say that to everyone. That's a change you should make, being jealous. You should be happy for other people. In fact, the biggest producers, as myself, I'm happy for other people when they do well. And if they do better than I did, there were people when I went out to California, there were people doing more than me. But I never had my lips stuck out going, well, I only had 163 and they had 200. Well, they also had a group of 10 people working, or 12 people, or 15 people, but I didn't compare myself to others. Quit comparing and play your game. In golf, you play your game. You can't control what anyone else does, but what you can control what you do. Anybody else? Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Andrew,
Yes.
a couple of things. I told you this a few weeks ago. I stopped using the
Make
GPS.
it short. Okay.
Got my flip phone.
Okay, so you went back to a flip phone, which is less distracting than an iPhone. Okay.
Absolutely. Also, I stopped putting so much pressure on myself to be what I want to be 10 years ago.
Now, to me, I was preemptive when you got back in coaching a year ago. And by the way, you've been in coaching about 1 year, just almost 1 year. You changed. Now, I mean, when I say your business has changed, your income has changed, your focus has changed. But the biggest change was you were married. And I knew you would put everything you had in your life into the real estate. And I told you on the first day, I told you in Atlanta, I said, you cannot do this time. You got to give Fred his time. So you cannot work all the way till 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night. You can't work all the time. You got to give Fred time, or he's going to resent you selling real estate at this high level. And, I've met Fred twice. I don't like him. I love him. But as long as you got to find a balance in there somewhere. And that's what you've done. You used to just be all in, and didn't have any other areas that things were left out. Another thing you did, I told you wanted it so fast, and you was thinking your business wasn't growing as fast as you thought it should. And your business is going to grow as fast as it should. But if you look back and you look where you were a year ago, and if you had, well, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4 listings, how many listings do you have today?
14.
Okay. You did not have 14.
15, Andrew.
15. But see, you didn't even have 5. So you don't think, well, my life hasn't changed very much. To go from having 3 to 5 active, if you even had that many, to now you have 15. How many do you have pending this morning?
6.
How many?
6.
6. See, did you have 6 pending
Yes,
a year ago?
No, sir.
No. So you have, and how many, so you've taken 17 listings for the year, I believe. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So see, a few years earlier, you hadn't taken 17 listings in a year. And now in 2 months, you've taken 17 listings. Okay. Committed, consistent, confident. And then we'll say you're excited and focused. That's priceless. To be excited in the morning. I think you had an appointment today, didn't you? Your numbers come across.
Yes, sir.
I couldn't read them,
Yes,
but I
sir.
can tell when it's a zero zeros. I know that's not just your dials, contacts, and appointments. I can tell you got an appointment. This is that
Yes, sir, I
opportunity. What
did.
was the price of your appointment this morning?
325.
325 on for classroom purposes. We'll say to you it's going to be 3%. What is that? 3% of 300,000. $9,000.
That 9,000.
So there's that $10,000 to $20,000 a day, and you're in a small town in a small area, and the prices is not as high as the rest of the United States. But see, already on Monday, you've given yourself the opportunity, seize the day, seize the moment, see the opportunity to make $10,000 to $20,000 a day. If I could get the agents in the United States, there's 1.3 million agents with the National Association of Realtors. Now, listen to this closely. I found this out last week. An agent told me 71% of all agents out of the 1,000,003 did not have a closing. Did not have a closing. I had an MLS pulled up here in South Carolina, an MLS, and there were like 4,000 agents. 4,000. I can't remember, but it was around, I know 2,500 of them, that's more than half of them, had 3 or less closings. Guys, y'all are having 3 and 4 and 5 closings a month when you get this program. Some of you are having 10 closings a month. But that's the difference of seizing this opportunity you have, this program you have, the Lacey Way, seizing the opportunity and then seizing the day, each day, every day matters, and then being in the moment. Seize the opportunity, seize the day, seize the moment. That's the song for this morning. Very good. Are you in a different place than you were a year ago?
Yes, sir.
Well, let me ask you one question. What's the biggest change since you've been back 1 year? What's the biggest change in the Lacey Way? What's the biggest change in me?
You show us how much you care. You have always cared, but you've never shown us.
Okay. You know what? Thank you for saying that, because I always have cared. I always have cared. I was just a drill instructor for my first 20-some years. And as I said a few weeks ago, now I'm that colonel that's just saying, hey, how y'all guys doing? Come on, we can do it. We're going to win, that sort of thing. So, yeah. I'll go to my grave thinking that when you got back in the program, you called me up and said, we need to do a blood test because I don't think you're Andrew Lacey. That's a great compliment right there. This is why, what did I say I did? I change every day. That's the area I've changed in. And then let's go back one person, White. I have more patience. Okay, let me tell you how I got patience. God gave me patience. You can mute. God. He gave me patience because he made me blind. When I say blind, somebody goes, you're not blind. You're not blind. I'm 97% blind. I can't see the camera, but I know the camera's there. It's just like you can't see business, but I know business is there because I've been doing it 44 years. I know there's an opportunity to get new business every day. And I said this morning, it does not matter what the market is. It does not matter what interest rates are. And none of that matters. The market is between your ears. If you decide that there's business out there, there are more great prospects than you possibly do business with. One of those beliefs in my life, there are more great prospects than my 7 proven beliefs. Anybody else before we go? What time of day is it?
11:23.
Okay, got a few more minutes.
Andrew, it's Jan.
Hey, Jan. Oh, Jan, I love that you're on the call because I met you, a year ago or 8 months
November.
ago?
November. So
November.
less
Less than 6 months ago.
yes.
And Diane got you to come. Thank you, Diane.
Yes.
And you've been in real estate 8 years.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what change have you made and what have you seen as your change?
I have been committed. You have helped me be committed to my business. And one of the things I wanted to say was that in the class last week, I was only able to come one day, but you said something to one of the agents who've been in your program for multiple years. She has just started in the last year or so calling past customers. And you had a conversation with her about, I've been telling you to do this whole time. So it just kind of really stuck with me that these are simple things that we can do to grow our business. And it's just a great group. And
Thank you.
it has changed my life, my business. Yes.
Did I say I was going to change your life? on the
You
first
did.
day. I did. And
I
didn't
only
I tell
halfway
you,
believed you, but I believe you now.
so you have, hey, at least you halfway believe me. Most of them take years to halfway believe me. But there's another thing I want to say. And this is for the coaching people because new people wouldn't understand it. But when you started with me, you were doing something else. And didn't I say you need to stop that?
Yes,
It's,
sir.
and you didn't. But now you have. And now your life is so much better. Amen.
Yes.
I'm always going to have your best interest, even though it may not seem like it. But I'm always going to have your interest. I have a fiduciary relationship with you, like you should with your buyers and sellers. But Jan, being in real estate 8 years, would you say you've had the opportunity to have more business in 6 months than you did in any year before you met me?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
So see, you seized the opportunity. And now when you come in, you seize the day. And now when you leave a great message, you seize the moment. But going back to past customers, think about how many years I said that I quit prospecting in 95. But in 96, 97, 98, 99, and 2000, I was still selling real estate. I was starting this company, and I worked with Telegy out of Macon, Georgia to write scripts for them, which they gave me a ton of money for. In fact, I was making more money than any other Arab from them. But I was still averaging over 120 closings a year. Why? Because Rose Ellen was pulling this drawer open, and I had Rolodexes in here, and she was calling 10 or 15 people a day saying, Andrew just asked me to call, check on you, see how you doing. You know anybody needs to buy or sell a house? And I'd come back home on Thursdays and go on appointments on Friday, sometimes Saturday morning, and still having 100 closings a year just from past customers. Now, because I have agents for the last 5, 6, 7 years calling past customers, they're having 80 closings, but 46 of them are past customers. That's $10 a day. Every agent, and the greatest loss of income in the national, so in real estate, the National Association of Realtors came out with this 20 years ago. The greatest loss of income in any real estate company is past customers. That's not me saying it. That's what the National Association of Realtors said 20 years ago. Think about it. Anybody else will go? Y'all did great.
Andrew,
Yeah.
Angie.
Hey, Angie.
Hey there. I
Has
feel
your
like,
life changed in the last year?
yes, sir, it has.
I know, 1 year. I can remember a year ago, November, a year ago and 3 months ago, you were sitting in my class on the right-hand side and you were just bawling your eyeballs out. Not because I was being mean, because I turned into being kind. I don't know why you were crying. No, I'll tell you why you was crying. Because I said you could be completely in control of your life and business, which now you have control of your life, and now you're starting to have so you got to get control of those. You got people. There's so many people that have parents that are step parents or people that's older than them controlling them. This song talks about that. Tell those in power, safe in that tower, we will not obey. So we allow so many people to hold us back and keep us from being who we can be. And when I help you to break away from that, and sometimes it's like I said, a parent who's telling you you can't or trying to control you. Nobody should be able to control you except you. I'm sorry, Angel, what was you going to say?
Just that August 15th in 2025, you said we should change that day. And if we worked every day between then and November 15th, that we would have $50,000 in the bank or more.
Mhm.
And I committed. And my dials went up and I've memorized the scripts now. So I
So
can just,
are you confident now?
yes.
Okay, let's talk about you. You have courage you didn't have. You're confident. You're committed. I don't know if you're compartmentalizing yet. You're consistent. You know, I can say this: unless you get sick or a parent gets sick, and you have to take care of them. If you're going down a road that in a 2 or 3 years you work 5 days a week and make $300,000 a year, I'm never wrong. 200,000 or 300,000 a year, working 5 days a week, and when I met you, you was making $0. But see, the biggest thing you have that you didn't have was confidence. And we still need to work on that. I hope everybody got something out of today's call. Can we start? Hope you enjoy this. I'm speaking to all of you. Now is the time to seize the day. Stare down the odds and seize the day. Minute by minute, that's how you win it. We will find a way. But let us seize the day. Courage cannot erase our fears. Courage is when we face our fears. Tell those with power, safe in their tower, we will not obey. This is you. Behold the brave battalions that stand side by side, too few in numbers, but too proud to hide. They say to the others that did not follow through, you're still our brothers, and we will fight for you. Now is the time to seize the day. Stare down the odds and seize the day. Once we begun, as we stand as one, someday becomes somehow, and a prayer becomes a vow. And the time to strike is now. It's now. It's today. And the rest of your life. Seize the day. Seize the moment. Seize the opportunity. Have courage. As I said, courage cannot erase your fears. But courage is when we face our fears. Some days it takes courage for me to go forward where I've never been because I can't see where I'm going. Some of you aren't able yet to see the business that's in front of you, but have the courage to call someone and go see as many people as you can because it's right there in front of you. You may not see it, but it's there. Hope each one of you have a great day. I look forward to being in Palm Beach Gardens on the 9th from 10 to 12:30. Do yourself one of the greatest favors you can. Come see me. I have an amazing handout, and I'd like to help make you more amazing in your business. Ciao.